Good morning. My name is Reverend Lezli Goodwin, and I'm part of the senior ministerial team here with the beloved German Reverend Karen Lewis, who is, even as we speak, traveling home to us. So I hope you're seeing this, Karen. Her hope was that she would be able to watch it live during her layover. So we're ready to have her back, right? It's amazing that we have the opportunity to go and do and be and support and love our families and fly all over the world. And I'm ready to have my partner back. So we are in a topic for the month on growth, spiritual growth, and our book of the month is Infinite Possibilities. So if you are new or new-ish or newly returned, or desiring to kind of go back to the basics, the core of the teaching of Science of Mind, this is it's like back to school month for the big kids, because we're taking it right back to the very beginning. And this is our book of the month. This book, oddly, brought me to you. I was realizing as I was thinking about it, I had never heard of New Vision Center until Mike Dooley, who was the author of the Notes to the Universe emails that I had been getting for years and years and years, came here to give a talk. And I think it was just a rental, but it brought me into the physical building of New Vision Center. And then you never got rid of me again. So either thank you, Mike Dooley, or maybe, send him a stern email about the trouble he's caused. So last week, we talked about the universe is really big. How big? Really, really, really big, right? And the reason we started with that idea is if we don't think the universe contains the potentiality for whatever it is we could dream up, what's the point in dreaming it up, right? So I think we established it. The universe is infinite. It's really, really big. Anything we can think of, anything we could want, the potentiality is there. We can't outgood God. Whew. So then the next logical question, once we learn that there's a creative process and we can use it, is how? How? I mean, if you're told the universe is infinite, you can have whatever you want, you create your own reality, and then it stops there, and you have not, in fact, done that, it's a little sketchy, right? So we have to learn the steps, the process. The good thing is it's the most natural thing in the world. We're doing it all the time. So here's what we are usually doing. There is a situation in our life, and it's a big enough situation that we've noticed it. We'll talk, the conversation before church today was debt, so we'll talk debt. I'm behind on my bills, the bills are still coming, I can see the amount of money in my checkbook, it is in the negative. What are we going to do about that? Usually, what most of the people of the world do is they worry about it, they talk about it to their friends. They plot and plan and try to find, what can I sell on Facebook Marketplace to get enough money to pay these bills? What am I going to do? Every time I go to the mailbox, there's going to be another bill. And they're focused on the problem. Now, if we believe that it is done to us as we believe, and if we believe from last week's talk that we press our thoughts into the universe and then it gives us a reflection of the thought, when we're worried about those bills, what are we inviting? More bills. And then guess what? They come. The more bills come. And then what do? We think about the new bills, and we worry about them too. And what do we get? Do we get more income to pay the bills? No. Because we're not focused on that, right? We're focused on the problem, on the bills. The good news here is we are using the law beautifully. We're so good at it. We're so good at it. We're doing it all of the time. Maybe not with a lot of forethought. The line from Mark's song, I just love, we create by default or design. Most of us, most of the time, are walking around creating by default rather than design. And here's what Mike Dooley says in our book of the month. Our words and actions are merely our thoughts given wings. Our thoughts are where everything begins. So we have to start with our thoughts and then allow them to take wing. Such a beautiful phrase, isn't it? Allow it to take wing. But again, if we were in the practitioner room and we were sitting on the couch across from me, odds are your next question would be, how? Because if what we're doing has been bringing us more bills, we're going to need to look at something a little bit different. So, how is by the power of our imagination. Insert SpongeBob SquarePants in your head going, imagination. I know ages based on who laughed and who didn't, like who has kids what age. Young people with no children and people who are over the age of having had children at home in the last 20 years are like, what? Who is SpongeBob? He's hilarious, trust me. He's a cartoon. The power of our imagination. Why? With the power of our imagination, be using the creative process. It is literally choosing to use it. So the creative process is we have a thought, we impress it into the law, and then we let it come forth. But in that pressing it into the law, I mean, you guys have found that every single prayer you ever speak comes true, right? Perfectly and beautifully with not a hitch. What? You say that maybe that hasn't been your experience? Every single prayer hasn't come true. And why? Why is that so? There must be something interfering. Must be something blocking us, right? Some evil power blocking our prayers. Yeah, it's called our other thoughts. The other things we're thinking. So I don't know about you, so I'll throw myself under the bus. Here's how it might go. I'm going to make the most money I've ever made this year. I'm going to do it as a minister. I mean, shoot big, right? And here's the other me in here. No, that's not how that works. No, I'm going to make the most money I've ever made this year. It's going to be miraculous. People don't go into ministry to make money. What kind of minister is even thinking about money? You're not very sacred, you. No, I'm going to make the most money I've ever made this year. It's going to be awesome. It's going to pay for me to take those retreats that I want. It's going to be great. Why do you think people would pay you more? Dummy head. What do you think you're worth? So it's just me, right? I'm the only one with the sock puppet in my mind? That part might be true. Fair enough. Karen Drucker calls that the committee, the voices in your head that tell you all the things that it's like whoever the meanest person in your life was that you've managed to cut out of your life or move away from, you just input it into your brain and let it keep talking to you. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? The only thing standing in the way of our creative process is the other thoughts we think. So, how are we going to use imagination to get past all of that? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to begin with the end in mind. We're going to stay away from the cursed hows. I'm going to make the most money I've ever made this year. Oh, how am I going to do that? Well, I don't think the church is going to give me a raise because we're busy trying to buy a new building, and I don't have the energy to take on another job. And, I don't know that I have time to finish that book this year. What am I doing? I'm figuring out the hows, but all that is telling me no. Is it any of my business how? No. How is none of our business. Stay away from the cursed hows. Begin with the end in mind. So what's the end? What do I really want? Why am I saying I want to make the most money I've ever made? Well, I said something about retreats, didn't I? It's going to be able to go on all those retreats. Maybe if I just picture myself at the retreats. And I'm going to go big on this one. I'm going to picture myself at the European ministerial retreat in Switzerland. Because, if we're going, go big. Why do I want to go there? Why would that be happening for me? And I'm feeling into it on the inside. I want to feel freedom, that I can go do what I want to do when I want to do it. I want to have that deepening of wisdom that comes from taking the time. And I want to feel ease. I want to feel like I'm not taking anything away from anything else. I want to feel abundance and ease. So when I use my imagination to picture myself, okay, in my mind, I'm in Switzerland and there are Alps. Oh, and there's wind blowing, my hair is blowing. And there are all these ministerial friends around me. I can see myself there. It skips over all the parts where we can talk ourselves out of it being something that we can have. We begin with the end in mind. What do we want to experience? What do we want to feel? What do we want to gain? Why? Why do we want it? Some people want to make more money just because they want to make more money. That's not my thing. I want to be able to go and do these things that will deepen my practice and my presence. I actually see pictures when I visualize. That's what we call that, using that imagination. I see pictures. Lots of people don't, and that's totally fine. I've heard people say that they think they can't visualize because they don't see pictures. Sometimes it's just a felt experience. You close your eyes and you just feel what it would feel like, and you know that there are Alps behind you, and you sense that there's wind blowing your hair, but you don't actually see them. And I just want to let you know, if you're not visualizing because you think you can't because of that trick, let it go. Let it go. Let your imagination do what your imagination does. Mine has sock puppets. I don't know what yours has. We also want to stay out of the planning. The planning. Okay, I'm gonna hustle to finish this book, and then I'm gonna write a class about it, and I'm gonna push people to take my class and just shove them in there so I can make more money. Just take the class. Do as you're told. Super spiritual, right? When we try to fill in those details that are unnecessary to the universe, what we're really doing is cutting off the likelihood that we're going to get there at all. We're making the choices, the chances, the opportunities for God to hook us up with what we want narrower and narrower with each little rule we set, each little time we think we know. It's like when my grandpa used to give me directions driving. You can go down this road, turn left, and you get to the town. I know this because I drove in this little town my whole life. But when my grandfather would give me directions somewhere, it sounded something like this. Well, you drive down till there's the big dip, not the little dip, the bigger one. And then you turn left at the Davitt's old barn, the one that burned down in 1968. I was born in 1975. And then, no, forget that. You're going to start going the other way, and you're going to go by the old creek road. I forget what it's called. And don't go on the first bridge. Take the left to the second bridge out past the big tree. Who's going this way? Which way am I going to go? You take the road, and then you take the road, and you're in the town. We're doing that to God every time we try to second-guess the plan. We're giving him directions to turn left at the Davitt's old barn that burned down in 1968. Does God need our help with this? No. In fact, if I were to say me, and I'm, amazing, versus the entire intelligence of the whole wide universe, what do you suppose has a better chance of getting to the destination? The universe, the entire collected intelligence of all time and space, versus a lady with sock puppets in her mind. Who are we going to listen to? If you think you can't visualize, if you think it's beyond your grasp, let's play a little game. Close your eyes or soften your gaze and let yourself think of a lemon. A nice, good, juicy, fresh off the tree lemon. And in your mind, smell it. Maybe give it a little squeeze so the skin releases extra juice. Oh, it smells so good. And then cut it open in your mind and see that lemon juice just dripping out. And now pick up that lemon in your mind and lick that lemon juice. And come back to me. Did anybody feel their ears do that pucker thing that you get when you taste something really sour? We are so good at imagining. We have no idea how talented we are. Some people saw the lemon. Some people smelled the lemon. Some people tasted the lemon. But everybody had a lemon in some form, right? That's how good we are. When you think you can't do this, I want you to remember the lemon. Perhaps it's a lemon cream pie. More pie. So once we have our internal movie, if you will, we're imagining it, now we got to make it real. So let's play a game with something that I think everybody in this room would enjoy. Let's decide that this sanctuary is packed to overflowing, that we have to add 100 more chairs and it's still standing room only. Everybody down with this game? And everybody's here for the right reason. Everybody's here for it, whatever their right reason is. Okay? So I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze and just visualize, imagine this sanctuary overflowing with people who really, really want to be here and are getting exactly what they came for. And now let's make it real. Feel into your heart. How does it feel to be in a sanctuary overflowing with more than 100 new friends who are like-minded and care about the same things? See yourself turning to someone that you don't know right now, but in your mind you do. They're a new friend. Give them a big hug. Shake their hand, however you choose to greet people. Hear the band kick up. It's your favorite song they play, and you are doing what you do, grooving how you groove. And the kids come in, and there are 57 of them. So many teens, we have to open up a new room because the teens don't all fit in the teen room anymore. And now open your eyes and rejoin me. Did you feel the difference when we added the emotion? We say thoughts, and it's a little bit of a bummer when we say thoughts become things. It's true, and yet the thought, we tend to think in our mind. It's an intellectual exercise. But what powers the thought is the feeling. Ernest Holmes called it the fire in the belly. That's what takes it from, that's my volleyball bump, to we can go through our life just pop the volleyball over the net. I'll chill. But sometimes we want to spike it, don't we? We want to get what we want. We want to be who we really are. Emotion is how we do that. So I've got a photograph here of a graduation gown. I have yeah. All right. We know how she's feeling. Do you need to know anything about her to know how she feels right now? What she studied? How long it took her to be in school? How she paid for it? What her parents think of the job she's going to get with this degree? How many dates she didn't go on to study? I might be projecting a little bit onto this gal now. We don't need to know. We put the fire in the belly. We begin with the end in mind. If she had that picture in her mind before she started school, I guarantee it was wine and roses all the way through. Doesn't mean she didn't work hard, but she is focused on where she's going. And when we do that, and we have the emotion behind it, I mean, that feeling, I love that feeling, that I did it. I'm getting emotional just thinking about what she's feeling. That's what we got to do. Because when it stops being an idea and it starts being a purpose, which, by the way, is just an idea with the emotion and the divinity attached to it, starts being a purpose, nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop us. The third thing that we have to do is stay in alignment. We have to stop talking to our sock puppets. It takes a while. They're very chatty, and they like to come back. It's like this, rah, 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 rah. No, we're not doing that anymore. And I'm affirming that I'm in Switzerland at that retreat. Rah, 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 rah. No, sweetie, we're not doing that anymore. I'm going to Switzerland. Rah, rah. Switzerland. Takes a little while, but it does start to happen. It's cleaning out our own consciousness. The only thing in our way is our other thoughts. We can't say, I hate you, sock puppet, get out of here, because frankly, then we're focusing on the thoughts. We just got to kind of love them into nap time. Just love them into integration. The second thing we can do to stay in alignment is look for evidence. Look for evidence. And how we do that is we look for other people that are making bombastic, audacious claims for themselves and succeeding at them. Evidence that their imagination is working. Why? Because it helps with our emotion. You saw how worked up I got about imaginary girl at graduation. If I can be that excited for her, I can be that excited for me. The other piece of that is we can't have what we don't celebrate for others. It's just the true truth. We can't, if we push it away for anybody else, if we think, well, I don't think she deserved that raise, and I wouldn't have even hired her in the first place, and I think she's terrible at her job. Are we setting ourselves up for our promotion or our raise? No, we cannot have what we resist for anybody else. So it's important that we look for evidence and we celebrate it everywhere we see it. Frankly, if they don't deserve it, celebrate more, because that's a lot of imagination really working. The third thing is to get help. Get help. Find people who agree with you. They're probably sitting in this room. Find people who agree with you, and then gently, beautifully let them in on your dream, your goal, your imagining, and allow them to stand witness with you. Allow that other access to God that is them to join up with your access to God. Invite them in to make imagining for you too. If one is good, more is better. We're all one in the end. Get help. Tell your friends that are like-minded. Get a practitioner to support you. Every single Sunday for the end of time, you will have, right over here, a group of wonderful practitioners who are trained professionals who have spent years learning to do beautiful, powerful prayers, just waiting for you to come pray with them. They're sad when no one comes and prays with them. They make sad faces. Make a practitioner happy. Get some help. And when you think that you've lost your way, turn back to one of the little visualizations we've done today. See this room overflowing. Tap into the energy of everyone around you that also saw this room overflowing with beloveds. Remember what that felt like, because if you could do it once, if you could taste that lemon, if you could feel the hug of someone you haven't even met yet, there is nothing you cannot do. You are unlimited. You are unlimited in physical healing. You're unlimited in what you can accomplish. You are unlimited when you imagine. My closing thought is from Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching. I suppose he is the founder of our teacher of Thoughts Become Things. He said, thought is the substance of a thing. Thoughts are things. I'm going to take a pause from this quote. If we ever wonder if the law of attraction or manifesting is a step away from science of mind, I think our founder saying thoughts are things is a reminder that no, this is at the heart of our teaching. It's not all of it by a long shot, but it's at the heart. Thoughts are things. Every object in the universe is the result of a thought expressed. And treatment, affirmative prayer, is clear seeing, clearing out, realizing the truth, knowing that all is all right and good. And when the inner consciousness agrees with our outer world, sees it as the good that it is, we shall realize our desires. Start with the end. Make it real. Let yourself feel it and stay in alignment. And if you can't stay in alignment, get help. That's what we're going to do, yes? Let's lock it in with some prayer. So this is what I know, that there is an infinite mind, infinite, that has every possibility in it. And it is right where we are. It is right where I am. It is right where every beloved within the sound of my voice is. And that we access it through the power of our thoughts and our feelings and our imagination. Every job, every healing, every relationship, every potentiality is right there waiting to be claimed. And so what I know for each one of us is that we are able to release any reason, any doubt, any logic or thought in our mind that has kept us from our highest good. Just release it. Let it fall away. And deepen into that bigger picture, that brighter truth. Surrendering over to the divine, anything that we think blocks our path, to just be loved into integration. We don't need it. It's never been our truth. And as we do that, what I know is that our thoughts, our feelings, our imagination is impressed into the law, and what comes back into our lives is amplified and beautiful goodness, more than we could have imagined, more than we could have claimed, better, bigger, brighter, wholer, more loving, more generous, more fabulous. I claim for us a good so big I cannot describe it in this prayer. And I know that it's on its way to us now. So I call it good. Surround it in gratitude and release it into the law as we say together, and so it is.